Since the beginning of time, people have been murderers. People shoot, people stab, people kill. But we're not going to do that. Instead, what we're going to do is try get through the entire Titanfall 2 campaign without getting a single kill. This was a dumb idea, but I want to find out if it's possible to get through Titanfall 2 without getting a kill. We start off by booting up the simulation and seeing the green lights, looking at the dots, then going into VR, smoking past the entirety of the parkour sections that we're being taught slowly, until Lastimosa decides to be an absolute giga chad and block my way. I try to shoot him in the face and forfeit the challenge, but you know, it doesn't work since I have no bullets. So I run along and I find a wingman taking out all the targets, after reloading obviously. The entire beginning section isn't really an issue. You can just kind of breeze through it without any problem. You don't have to kill anybody. Well, I mean, we're not going to kill anybody. This is a don't kill anybody kind of thing. Lastimosa plays on his iPad for a little bit, just having some fun on Candy Crush before he takes us to the Titanfall area. We call in our first Titan, and the game crashes. Well, the VR game. He pulls us out, and this is where the proper game starts. We wake up from our little nap and instantly we're injected with what would arguably be a lethal dose of gamer fuel, but simply we're just stronger. So we get up out of bed and our pod opens. When we run out into the world, onto our hands and knees and look around. This is about the moment when I realize that this is going to take a really long time. I have to wait for all the specters to be killed by my poor teammates. I just watch hundreds of them throw themselves at these robots and die. I kind of have to do this considering that I can't shoot back. Eventually, I just took a dash for it since there wasn't really much else I could do. This didn't end well. I died. Quite a lot, actually. I died here too many times. My mad dash eventually made it, and I got through and a Titan nearly sat on my head. But luckily, Lastimosa comes in. However, Lastimosa wasn't enough, and Richter takes an ear. I wake up and there's a dog biting my toes. Why? I don't know. BT nearly shoots me because he has anger issues. Then, Lastimosa, like the absolute chad he is, grabs me by my throat and gives me the mission. He tells me what to do and how to do it, before realizing he doesn't in fact have any blood. He falls back and dies. I then loot his corpse and make a nice little rock pile for him. R.I.P. Lastimosa. I put on his helmet, and without a second thought I get on my way, since, well, there isn't really much in this area apart from just running around and not shooting people. I know, how thrilling. Not shooting people. So I go and grab the first battery for BT, pick it up with relatively ease with my massive biceps, run back to BT and realize this is the moment where I nearly lose my mind. There's a squad of grunts in this area, and I have to clear out all of them. But I can't kill them. Simply for the sake of completing this challenge, I'm going to stretch the definition of can't kill them. Since it's impossible to move on from this area without killing these grunts, that as long as I'm not the one that is throwing the explosive, as long as I'm not the one shooting the explosive, it's fine. So I just spend the next 15 minutes throwing myself at these grunts, guessing roughly when they're going to throw a grenade. I get so bored in fact that I start mining salt. Yes, this is me mining salt. You're looking at a salt miner right now. Maybe I'm mining cryptocurrency. No, I'm mining salt. I run at grunts, and they decide to blow themselves all up. I genuinely don't know why. This obviously took an incredibly long amount of time, as you can tell by this crazy salt compilation that's currently playing. But eventually, I was able to... What the fuck is he doing?
Hi, how are you?
This area wasn't difficult, it was just incredibly time consuming, because I knew that if I fucked up, well, I just blew myself up and I'd have to restart from the beginning. But eventually, the last grunt had killed themselves. I never actually saw it, they were just kind of dead. So I decided to punch his face. Nice. A few times, to be fair. I then shove my green battery deep inside BT and secure it so it doesn't fall out while he gets on his knees and thanks me. Well, that's not actually what happens, but I continue on and I try to find the next battery. Just hopping around, not killing anybody because that would literally go against the entire point. I get inside the ship, I see the blue light, I follow the blue light, then I grab the battery and return to BT. Doing some absolutely sick parkour, as you can see. God, I'm so good at this game. This definitely didn't take me 2 tries. I then bunny hop over to the spectres before dying, because I am not good at this game. I tried to hack these spectres so many times, I just got eviscerated every single time. The one time I did do it, my friend just got fucking chokeslammed and killed. This is why I can't have nice things. Eventually my spectre friend kills the last guy, and I insert my meaty battery inside of BT. He opens up to me about his feelings, and I get in. It goes dark. Because surprisingly, there aren't many light sources inside of a robot. This next bit needs a little bit of explaining. I can't kill people, if you haven't already noticed, and this next section almost relies on you killing people while BT resets. The way you pass this is by surviving as long as you can until BT fully reloads. If you survive long enough, you'll hear this, and then you die. But when you respawn, you're back in BT and everything works. I really don't know why this is. I think it's literally just a timer that has to tick down for BT. So I get out of BT and he fights a big robot. However, BT kind of has this weird thing where he kind of wants to stay as far away from the robots as possible. So I ended up having to get inside of BT. Well, I actually have to run over to him, get inside of him and throw him at the robot. He eventually killed him, and well, I didn't kill him. Moving on to the blood and rust section, it was relatively easy. The first time I did it, I was not particularly smart. I thought I'd be an absolute genius and just kind of leave BT to get through it by himself. But BT died. I think I put too much faith in BT. The second time it was relatively easy. Nobody died, thankfully, and neither did I. I begin to move through the rest of the facility, and then I do some absolutely sick parkour, which I'm not going to show you because I definitely didn't try this 5 times. I then get through the section, open the doors, and get through the rest of the facility. I run through the lockers, and then I go down the little slide waterfall thing, and almost get stopped by this one little grunt. I wasn't really sure what to do with him. I thought I could sneak past, so I try to get past him here. But then I realized that maybe he doesn't want to be friends, so I decide to climb on the roof and wait for him to come out. I call this the sneaky option. He eventually comes out, and I sneak right past him without hairing a single hair on his head. I get through the rest of the area by literally avoiding everybody. I run along the outside of the map because I'm just a genius. I get to the next area and find the militia people that think I'm going to help them. Surprise, I'm not. I can't shoot people, so I just run through the entire facility and try and get to the kill dome as fast as I can. I breeze through the rest of the facility and give this Marvin a good stare before moving on. Now, for the more attentive viewers, you would have realised my guns changed. That's because I was an absolute idiot and forgot how to do sludge skip and thought that I'd messed it up so badly that I had to restart the entire chapter, and this was the gun it gave me. This is me attempting sludge skip, and I use attempting. Attempting is the word. I basically just wait for BT to come and get me. He takes his time, to say the least. I wait a decent amount of time and then just run through the wall because Phantom. He's a phantom. Kane is the next bit. I have to find Kane. Kane was easy. I really can't lie. Kane was very easy. I just ran up to him, finger blasted him, and that was that. Kane got finger blasted. I finger blasted Kane. I am the blaster of fingers that blasted Kane. Why am I still talking about this? I run up to him, grab his earpiece, and chuck it on. I move on to the next area. Facilities. I disembark BT as to not squish on any of these small little defenseless people, and within moments my absolute massive brain decides to launch myself into this moving mechanism. I kill myself. It was fun. I then try again. BT runs on down this little path, squashing all the little people, and I move on further. But I find out here that BT really doesn't like that moving thing. I'm just going to call it the moving wall. He really doesn't want to move past it by himself. So I end up having to go back to get him. and I find myself killing myself to the exact same mechanism, but this time inside of BT. So I try one last time, and I think it's going good. But this time, he decides to stand inside the mechanism himself. It doesn't kill him, he just stands there, and I die. So I have to run BT through myself, at which point he decides he doesn't want to move still. He just doesn't like this area. So I just move on to the next area. This is where we met our second Titan. BT really didn't want to fight this guy, so I just kind of had to throw BT at him over and over again until he eventually killed him. It worked, but, you know, BT didn't want to do it. There were 2 more brutes. These were relatively simple. I would just play tone, slap down the shield, move back. Eventually, when they got closer, I'd place down a shield for BT and then play expedition while he just kind of shot them. This took a really long time, so I apologize for the mishmash of clips and potentially them moving. I never really got a fluid show of all of them. It just kind of went badly. With the last tone, I just ended up throwing BT directly at him while he uses core at me. This was probably one of the dumbest ideas I've ever had, but it looked somewhat satisfying. Somewhat. I then pressed the button to kidnap BT, run along to the elevator, and land it first try. First try. And I decided to beam down BT because I'm just such a cool person. I then once again prove my absolute prowess at parkour and land this first try. First try. And then run through the rest of the facility. There was literally nothing really that I needed to kill whatsoever. So I just ran through willy-nilly, got through it with relative ease. This section took longer than it probably should have because I ended up dying a few times and turning into a bird, it seems. I then sat inside of the moving house for a while. That was pretty fun. I enjoyed being a house and being squashed by the construction of the house. But eventually, just sitting back, relaxing on the sofa, watching the world go by. It was nice. Then I reached Ash's Dome. Ash's Dome was probably the most fun I had in this entire thing because I got to do a skip for the first time. I've never actually tried Dome Skip before, but, you know, I tried it today. If you don't know what Dome Skip is, basically you can skip the entire Kill Dome, Ash's Kill Dome, if you just follow where I'm going now. You'll go to the back wall, and you can just crouch and go under and through the wall. I really don't know why it's a thing. I just saw a guy do it in a video one time, and I was like, maybe I can do that. You then have to jump exactly onto this plain wall and line up your crosshair with this line that I'm showing you here. Then once you're sat there, and you wait for the rest of the dome to set up, Ash will say her lines, and it'll be the next zone. It really isn't that difficult. I run along the rooftops for a little bit and nearly get blown up, before reuniting with BT and jumping inside of his firm metal body. The moment I'm inside of BT, I use hover so that I don't squash any of the little rodent people. They're not rodents, they are... I guess they're dogs. I didn't squash any dogs. I then fly past the rest of the Titans, kind of nonchalant, probably taking way too much damage than I probably should have, grabbing a battery, before realizing that my one weakness is little pods. I couldn't fly or walk past this. It really was strange to me. I then move on to the next section. Ash appears, asserting her dominance. If I can call this dominance. I'm really not sure what this is, but it is something for sure. I mean, look at that form. God, that's beautiful. Anyway, I kill Ash. Ash was easy. Ash is dead now, but Ash was pretty easy, to be fair. BT then moves on with his life in general, realizing he doesn't have to wait around for these people, and I move to the funny time travel area. If you have epilepsy, I sure hope you're not looking at the screen right now, because you're about to get not good. Just look away, please, I beg you. I do some funny time travel, and this is the entirety of the time travel. I think it was kind of cool. Again, if you have epilepsy, you're probably no longer watching this video. I then punch this guy in the face. I personally think that is allowed for the Pacifist run. In my opinion, I think he was already dead. Just my opinion. I move on to the next area, since again, the time travel area was actually one of the easiest since I didn't really have to do anything. I play as Ronin, and I make friends with some robots, but it turns out they don't really want to be friends with me because they keep shooting me. So that was a shame. I listened to the men begging me to help them, but if you didn't already know, their turrets will eventually kill all of them, so you don't actually have to do anything. So I just frolicked and played with some more of the robots, told them, no, don't do this, why are you doing this, God, please, don't do this, no, It was a sad sight to see, to say the least. I then go inside the big building, get out, and listen to these people telling me that I have a job to do. So, I do my job. I run through the power facility relatively easily since there aren't really anybody to kill apart from Marvins in this area, and Marvin killing is a crime, so I wouldn't do that. I run through the entire facility and get to the little arena area. I pick up the softball because I think it looks kind of cool. I hack some specters. Stabbing a knife into the back of their head isn't lethal, I just want to make that clear. Then, when the invisible timer ends, I run through into the next section after I've stabbed my third spectre in the head. And I just run through nonchalant, because I can't... Wait a minute. Wait a minute. The fuck? Why are there phase pilots here? They don't phase. Okay. I breeze past the phase pilot, and eventually find the Marvin holding the gun. He teaches me his wise ways. And I take his gun. However, I personally think this challenge is lost, since, well, I mean, I made him sad. I made the Marvin sad. I think the challenge is over. I then breeze through the rest of the facility, clicking buttons, doing gamer stuff. I mean, if you've never gamed this hard before, are you really a gamer? That's what I thought. Shut the fuck up and start gaming. I jump in the vents, and I go fast as fuck. I can't lie, this is my favourite area, but only the first 2 seconds of this area is my favourite, because eventually it just feels like you're losing that speed, and then you fall down. I meet back up with BT, and he's like, hey yo, you should charge that power core, and I was like, yeah I should. So I did that, and as you can see, I did it. I also found out you can't die in this area, but I do it fast because I'm a fucking gangster. The beacon blows up and it's my job to fix it, because of course I'm a repairman. I'm definitely not just a soldier, I'm also a repairman slash pilot. I can do stuff. I don't know why I'm using this voice, it's very sarcastic. Because I'm an absolute genius, I forgot to get the clip of BT throwing me, so imagine he just threw me and I have now landed on the platforms. I breeze through this area, like to say the least. Like, it is just incredibly easy to get through, you don't really have to do anything. I start electrocuting a man to death, but then remember I'm not supposed to kill people, so I kind of stop. I personally argue he was just incredibly kinky and that's what he's into, so I moved on with my life. I got through the rest of the area, moved some cranes, and grabbed the one thing that I came to grab. The blue thing with gold stripes. The name escapes me, but I know it's important. I then take the module back to BT, but for some reason it doesn't want me to go on this zipline, so it throws me off a few times and I fall to my death. So I go back again. I get on the zipline this time and really hope it doesn't throw me off again. It does a few times, but this time I take it like a champ and just kind of bunny hop it. BT then just starts stomping on people, doing some absolute gamer shit. Destroying them, eating them like they're peanut butter. Honestly, BT is the absolute unit. However, I don't really need him. I start to climb the tower myself. I made a really funny little way to do it, but you can hear BT in the background just absolutely destroying people. I then get inside the dish, climb it way too early, well at least earlier than I'm supposed to. Then the module thing comes down, and I grab it and replace it. Then the dish starts to move. I realise that probably any maintenance worker that would ever do this would die, but I'm no maintenance worker, I'm more than the maintenance man. I have a giant robot that will give me a thumbs up. Subscribe for more thumbs up. I then run back and BT absolutely executes this Reaper, it's actually really satisfying. Then he continues to kill more people, and shoot a few more people, to be fair. I just kind of watch it while it happens. The Reapers then decide to do a little bit of murder and jump on top of each other. I'm not really sure why they do it. They're actually horrible people. They killed each other. They were friends. Brothers even. This Ronin then decides to run off into the sunset. Like, it's very strange. He just decides that this game is too much for him and he just runs away. I really don't know why he started walking away. It was very obscure. BT ended up killing him anyway. He came back and realized desertion wasn't an option, while Richter was just harassing the rest of the people. BT eventually gets the Lost Titan. I don't think he actually hit that shot, but you know, they died, so he must have. Richter was relatively easy to kill. I mean, a man that scratches his balls this aggressively is like pretty easy to kill, to be fair. So I kill him. Pew pew. He doesn't die, so I have to kind of run up to him and grab him and slam him and pew pew pew, you know? Anyway, that was Richter. He's dead now. I then learned that Sarah Briggs is also in fact an iPad kid and just wanted to show me some memes. I get the thumbs up from Marvin before I drop down and take a whole new fight. This entire section is just me being a little rodent. I watch everybody else fight while I do absolutely fuck all. I'm just honestly built different, what can I say? As you can see by this crazy montage, I just run around doing literally nothing, trying not to die. I give up on Sarah Briggs actually making progress since I know she's invincible, and I just run till the end. I then spend about 3 minutes waiting for her to come back, at which point I was watching funny cat TikToks. And that, like, do any of you guys know that song goes like a dooba dooba dee da ba ba da dee da da da? Yeah, I love that shit. I love that shit, bro. So fucking sick. With the guys. The guys, am I right? Anyway, I run through the rest of the battlefield. It's incredibly easy. I then run the last stretch. It's pretty easy. I mean, like, I get to the very end and die. Like, literally, I see the entire animation happen, but I'm dead. But I wouldn't focus on that, right? Really, just don't focus on that. I didn't die there. I actually got it first try, as you can see here. Then, with my mind, I just delete every single enemy titan that exists. Because yes, I in fact have mind powers. Look at this shit. Where did they go? I don't know. The next section is grabbing the arc, but it's pretty easy. I mean, I just kind of sit still and wait till things happen. I try and kill BT, but you know, he's been pissing me off and I need to take out my anger on somebody, so I try to kill him. It just doesn't really work. We're then introduced to Viper, who in fact has actually just been a fitness fanatic this entire time and just shows us how to do jumping jacks. 1 and 2, 2 and 3, 3 and 4, 4 and 5. What an absolute king, showing us how to get in shape. We, however, do not comply, so he throws us off our ship. Barker then drunk drivingly comes in and I break my legs. I give up here because my legs are now broken, but because of the fact I have sheer willpower, I carry on. I then jump between a couple ships, BT throws me a little bit, and I get on the big ship. Now, what are we doing? We're big shipping. And have to get to the elevator because the elevator comes before the guns. However, we can see the elevator is filled with people that don't really like us. So what I do, ingeniously, is I jump behind them. I know, nobody's ever thought of this before, but I do it with such style and finesse they don't see it coming. I then run through the rest of the gun section, just activating all of the stalkers as I do so that they can kill all the people that need the guns. I then wait for the 6-4 to come and get me because I desperately need help. We then jump over a void and jump onto the next section of the ship. Easy peasy. I then take a high vantage point and wait for the rest of the 6-4 to get on with their little thing. I don't really have to do anything. Eventually they'll kill all of them. So I just sit at the very top of the map and watch them do it. Some fun things that I noticed is that if you sit at this spot on the ship, the lighting kind of bugs out and your gun goes kind of stock white. Very interesting. Very strange. Fun fact. Thought you'd enjoy it. Once the 6-4 have killed everybody, they decide to kill me. We set down some charges. They told me to pick a target, but it was all a joke. They were joking. The moment they blow these things up, their entire intention is revealed. They wanted to kill me. They blow up the satchels, and I die instantly. While I'm aware this might not have been their choice, like no matter what, even if I was shooting people, I would be dead. But I decide to go invisible and just run through this area instead. I then direct the ship, and BT comes to get me. He misses me, so he breaks down the glass door and comes to get me. What a king. He opens up to me about his feelings once more, and I clamber in wholeheartedly. With BT, what I let him do was, I let him kill the Scorch and all the other non-man titans, but once all the people were dead, and it was just me and Viper, I eventually just decided to kill Viper. I struggled, I can't lie. I'm not as good as I used to be at this game. So I just played North Star and sniped him out the sky. It was quite fun, I can't lie. I then killed Viper forever because he never comes back, and he will never come back, and that is a fact and you cannot deny it. Viper's dead and he'll never come back. Viper comes back because who could have foreseen this? I personally didn't. There's a little scrim between BT and Viper. They just have a little bit of, fun play. Viper, I'm realizing, shoots his weapon way too fast, faster than should be possible, but I just throw a grenade and blow him up. There isn't really much I can do here. Like, I cannot proceed without killing Viper. I then push the big blue orb inside of BT. BT saves me from the impact of death, and BT gets tortured. Yep, that's the next bit. BT gets tortured. I get a gun pointed at me, and BT opens up about his feelings, but this time it's the wrong person. He ends up having a gun shoved down his throat because of the fact that he opens up at the wrong time. I'm then surrounded by fire, and I grab the seer kit, getting the smart pistol and my knife. I can't do shit with this, because again, I can't shoot people. Usually this section's really easy, but it's not, because I'm on Master's difficulty, and I genuinely found it impossible. Like, every time I went through it, I couldn't do it. Every time I get past and it looks easy, yeah, that's because I've changed the difficulty to normal. I personally just couldn't do it on the highest difficulty. I think it's genuinely impossible. BT then comes in. Well, not BT, but Big Mech Man comes, and I put BT inside of his face. Now I have BT back, and I get inside of him for one last hurrah. I run past everybody and get to the big ass fucking door. I then most definitely do not struggle to get past this door. I definitely didn't have to do this a lot of times to actually get past this. This was the easiest thing of my life. I eventually bug my way through the door. What you have to do is you have to aim at the top bit and you have to crouch through the top. Since I couldn't kill any of these little small people, I just use my run and deflect and let them blow themselves up, because in the context of Titanfall 2, people love to blow themselves up. I then run through the rest of the section, and as to not step on any of the Marvins, I grab all the batteries individually because I'm just such a fucking Chad. Within the next fight, I let BT just take all of the non-Sloan fights. He does pretty good. I mean, he fucking murks the first guy, to be fair. I ended up having to do this about 3 times until I got it. I then make the massive brave decision to try and Molten Core, whatever the fuck it is, on top of Sloan. It did basically nothing. I then basically get rid of all of my health for no reason. I apologize if clips are very out of order, by the way, because I ended up having to do this about 3 times. My game then bugged and I thought I could finish the game early, but I couldn't. So I wasted some time and literally killed myself for no reason because I thought the game would work. It didn't. Eventually, BT's an absolute Chad and just kills them all, and then Sloan comes back. It didn't go well, to say the least. I get to the last area with all the Reapers, and this one Reaper decides to... I don't know what he does. He just kind of gets out of my way. He's a little baller. I kill Sloan and I rip out the arc part. My screen goes black because BT just can't handle 30,000 volts. Willy Wonka comes along and gives me his golden ticket. I take it with open arms. He's just so kind to such poor Oompa-Loompas like me. I then take his card and move on with my life, staggering towards the arc injector. I throw myself inside of the arc injector and shoot myself with BT. BT, like the absolute Chad, however, throws me out. I can't lie, even now this scene genuinely makes me sad. I love BT so much, and if you don't like BT, I don't like you. You should like BT. BT's a nice person. Anyway, the rest of the game is pretty simple. I just basically parkour across a destructing world until Barker Drug drives into me again and tries to save me. It's a quite stressful environment, and I was pretty sure Barker nearly slammed into me opposed from saving me. So, things went well. I didn't kill anybody in the entire game. Sarah Briggs comes along, I get evac'd, and everything's okay. And I didn't kill a single person. Well, but then the planet kind of explodes. So, maybe it was all for nothing. Maybe. But It is possible to pass Titanfall 2 without killing a single person. Well, okay. You kind of have to kill the big guys. You know, you have to kill all the apex predators. Otherwise, it's not possible. Maybe if you can glitch past some of them, it's doable. But I don't know how. This is an incredibly fun video to make. I took a long ass time on it, I can't lie. I don't know why I had this idea. I just have this random jumble list of ideas that I'm slowly working through. Some of them I haven't published, some of them are not even started on, some of them are half done. But I've been working on this for maybe a month now, far too long. And yeah, I hope it turned out alright. I know I didn't include a lot of the jokes that I wanted to, but I think it's going to turn out good, and I'm really looking forward to see how people react to it. If you enjoyed this kind of video, then subscribe and say, hey, I in fact enjoyed this video. This is a video. say something like that, and it'll make me aware that you in fact like this video because it's a video. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you have a nice evening. Thank you for watching. Yeah. Goodbye.